Henshin go go baby, what's good guys? Iyokuu here, and happy Halloween. It's not Halloween, I don't know why I'm saying that right now, but it is October, which is considered spooky month. All of October is considered spooky month. September just kind of gets skipped. Next year we're just gonna like mutually, everyone is gonna collectively combine September and October into 1 month, and then we'll have one long 61 month, right? Period. 61-day month period. That's what I meant to say. You know what I meant to say. I'm just clarifying so no one corrects me in the comments. But anyway, I want to try something a little bit different for spooky month. And with spooky month, what I kind of want to go for is horror theme, because that just seems to be what it is. And I don't do a lot of horror stuff, but yeah, I see a few of these pop up here and there. Sometimes they get me, sometimes they don't. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be watching some of the animated horror stuff from Wansee, I believe that's how I pronounce the name of it, from Wansee Entertainment's YouTube channel. Link in the description down below. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted. I see other people doing it, so I mean, I feel like I shouldn't get copyrighted, but we'll see. If I get copyrighted, then I'll stop. Maybe I'll reach out to them, whatever. But anyway, it's reaction to all that kind of stuff. So let's do it. Airport horror story.
It was the spring of 2017.
Am I supposed to be quiet during these?
I was flying out to Chicago for a job interview. It was around 11 p.m. and I was sitting in my gate at the San Francisco International Airport. A storm was raging outside. Rain pouring down the windows as everyone was bundled up on the seats and keeping to themselves.
What kind of horror story can you have
the rows of people in seats
from the airport, though?
On laptops or phones and wearing earbuds before I noticed this one guy. He was sitting in the farthest corner of the gate by the corridor, with no one else sitting around him.
Wait,
he was not
what's
on
wrong with his face?
And wearing headphones like everyone else. He
why
has this
does he look like that?
Grin plastered on his face, and he's
nah, you gotta stop. I would have left. If somebody's staring at me like that, I would have left.
In terms of looks and what he was wearing, but that grin was so creepy.
He's a murderer.
It was beginning to make me shit bricks.
He's definitely a murderer.
I turned away and pretended I hadn't seen him.
Nah, you're dumb. You're fucked, girl. He's gonna get you. You already made eye contact.
I eyed him back without realizing. Eventually, they called our gate and I boarded the plane. I took my seat in the business class right by the window.
Yo, look, he's in the back. He's in the back. He's in the back. He's in the back.
I did not see the creepy man boarding. An hour later,
that face!
we were up in the sky. Sometime through the flight, I got up to use the bathroom, and as I was finishing up in there, someone knocked on the door. I called out, "Occupied," but the person continued knocking repeatedly and aggressively. As I was washing my hands, I ignored it, hoping it would go away, but it didn't. So I opened the door to make some ballsy remark, but froze when I saw who was in front of me. It was the guy from the airport, still with that creepy grin plastered on his face.
Why did they put his face on here like that?
I pushed past him and walked to my seat, not glancing behind me. The rest of my flight went normal except for the fact that I couldn't get him off my mind.
Alright, so she's technically doing the right thing, you know? She's not acknowledging him. She's not looking back like in most horror movies.
I called
this dude is just creepy.
I walked to the airport parking lot. It was 12 p.m. in Chicago. The Uber came and I drove to my hotel.
It's 12 p.m. Why is it dark as hell outside? That's not 12 p.m. That's 12 a.m. Why is it dark as hell outside at 12 p.m.?
Left it. So I called the airport and asked them to search the plane. They did so and got back to me a few hours later saying they found nothing. I drove back to the airport and spent the whole rest of the day searching and turning up nothing. My only theories were I had somehow left it at San Francisco or it had been stolen. I was able to recover and spent 3 more days walletless in Chicago. But you know what? Here's the scary part. When I got back to San Francisco and drove to my house, I discovered something disturbing. My door was unlocked, and my entire house was trashed. Everything had been broken, and anything worth a slight amount of value had been taken.
You think that the creepy face guy was
footage and was able to identify the intruder as
Yo,
the
it is
grinning
him.
man from the airport who, sure enough, had my wallet and therefore
He's like, hey, I got your keys.
I called the police, who found his fingerprints all over my house. The only scary thing was that the prints did not match anyone on record.
That wasn't scary, man. That one wasn't scary at all. That was more entertaining than it was scary. I'm not even gonna like it. It didn't make me feel weird. Some of the other ones that I've watched make me feel weird. This one did not make me feel weird, but I guess it's creepy. I don't know, man. Let's go to the next one. My old haunted house.
My name is Max.
My
I live
name
in the
is
center of the
Max.
city now. But
His
a few
voice
years
sounds like a
back,
robot.
I lived in an old house on a somewhat sketchy street. But that doesn't mean I was poor. The house was ugly from outside, and it was built before World War II, but clean, warm, and cozy inside. Although many people died.
Yo, what the hell?
I always believed in ghosts because of all the weird incidents that happened. Like one time, at night, me and my mom were sitting in a room.
Yo, his
It
mom
was
got
pitch
some
black outside the room we
chesticles.
sat in. Suddenly, we heard someone was tripping over, falling in the kitchen. We also heard things like plates fall down and shatter.
His face.
But when we
Oh.
walked outside, nothing was there. Everything was in its place, and we were so scared about what was going on. A few years later, I had a dream. Me and my mom were walking down a path, and suddenly we stopped, and I heard a voice saying, "Bridge." I felt something knocking on my back 3 times, and I woke up scared. Nothing was there, so I didn't think of it that much and went back to sleep. However, after that night, this dream appeared again and again. The voice said various things that I don't remember, and one time it said something about my mom's death. It always ended with something knocking on my back 3 times. It was creepy. One time,
Why
me
would
and
they
my
knock
mom
on
sat
his
in a
back
room
3
and talked
times?
about
What?
ghosts, and I told her about what I've been dreaming. Mom went silent for a second, and she confided in me that once she was sitting with a friend, and he said something not too nice to her, just for fun. She got angry and screamed, "Shut up," in a male voice. And she didn't remember that. When she described the voice, it reminded me that the voice sounded just like the voice in my dreams. In 2017, she passed away because of cancer. She died in the same room, in the same house where I got those nightmares. After that, I moved out to another place a few years ago. So I don't live in that house anymore. But I still believe in ghosts, that they exist, and they are real.
What? Yo, man, look, we're not gonna do this no more. Like this whole series. I'm about to cancel this series before it even start because I'm not getting what I want. I'm confused. I'm more lost than that guy with the ghost. You left. You didn't find out where the ghost came from. Nah, man, you gotta go back to that house. I'm trying to figure out what's up.
This incident took place in Dubai when I was
All right,
10.
same guy. The
I
ghost.
used to
This
go to
time
my
the ghost is in his
friend's
friend's
apartment to
house.
play with him at the time of vacation. One day, as usual, I went to his room to play.
You want to
I've been
play
playing for a
Jenga,
long
bro?
time. I went to the
You are a
bathroom.
loser.
While I was washing my face off and other things suddenly started to
Other
fall
things? What are you washing
I was
besides your
surprised.
face in the bathroom, bro?
down.
What
I
you doing
thought
at your
maybe
friend's
it was
house?
because of wind, but when I checked the surroundings, I found out there wasn't any window in the bathroom. I got out and told my friend the incident. He told me that there's a ghost in his room. I freaked out. At first, I didn't believe him. However, then next his mother and father explained the paranormal activities which had taken place there since they moved into that place.
So y'all just knew it was
His
ghost in the
father
house and you
was
stayed
making
there
a
anyway.
burrito in the kitchen one day, and suddenly a call came for him. He kept the burrito on the stove and attended the call.
That's not a
After attending
burrito.
the
That's
call,
like
when he
onions
came
and
back, he was
sausage.
surprised to find out that the burrito was burning down in flames from the stove. But he said he was definitely sure that he hadn't turned on the stove yet.
Nah, he turned that. I saw
Another
his
day,
hands
while
next
his
to it. He
mother
turned
was
that stove
cooking
on.
food, suddenly she felt as if someone was choking her by holding her throat from behind, and she fled out of the kitchen with a scream. The same day,
Okay,
while
that
they
would
were
be pretty
sleeping at
creepy if I
night,
ever felt something
they
like
heard
that.
sounds from the bathroom. And when they checked it out, they found all the things, such as bottles of toilet cleaner and other things, had been scattered inside the bathroom. And that story made me suddenly freeze. This was the exact same incident which occurred to me. They had called some
Happy
group of ghost
Halloween!
hunters and did some sort of ritual.
No?
And found
No?
out that 2 people had
Okay.
been murdered by someone. To know if this was true, they went to the flat owner, and he said just the same thing like the ghost hunters and apologized for giving them this room. They moved out the next day after my visit to their house. Well, to this day, I still wonder what would have happened to me if I had stayed there for some more time.
I mean, like, just, it's not like he would have died, you know. He just would have, like, what, man.
This fact happened when I was 15 years old, beginning of last year, 2018, when I finally got to sophomore year here in Brazil. It was an ordinary Friday night. Suddenly, I felt a little bit hungry, so I decided to put on some clothes and go to the snack bar. It was barely 10 minutes from my house.
I don't remember what this one was called. I didn't even pay
I
attention.
usually
My
pass
bad. I'm
through
not
the
gonna lie
alley
to you.
go to the snack bar, but that time, everything was so creepy in there. When I was halfway there, it was dark, empty, abnormally cold and gloomy. I felt slightly intimidated, but there was nothing there that could really harm me. So I decided to just go through that alley. Then I thought, nothing's gonna happen. I kept going until I suddenly heard something weird on the other side of the alley. There was a man in there, staring at the walls in hunchback stance.
He's not staring, bro.
Hunting
That dude is
weirdly.
definitely
I
masturbating.
found that incredibly creepy. But I was nearly at the snack bar, so all I needed was just to get out of that alley.
So you gonna keep walking
Walk 1
anyway.
minute more, and I finally would get there.
All right,
instead of
you ain't
making
never
it all
seen
the
a
way
zombie
home
film in
with
your
empty
life, huh?
hands.
I would have took a crowbar,
Thus, I decided to ignore him and
A
pass
brick.
through after all.
a PVC pipe,
I finally
something.
passed through him. He turned to me and stared at me with a creepy smile.
Yeah, he was
which made me walk
definitely.
a little bit
Yo, leave the
faster,
knife.
trying to avoid it. Then suddenly I heard a grunt and quick steps behind me. When I looked back, it was him. We were barely 2 feet away from each other.
You just gonna
He
stop?
had a kitchen knife in his right hand and jumped on me with amazing speed and tried to stab me.
What?
I
Hoo-yah!
grabbed
Bro,
both of
come
his
on,
arms
no.
Before he could get me. However, since he was charging at me, he still had more energy to push me back and force me against a wall.
You gonna let this man
I
just
was
take you?
terrified with all of that.
You
I
gonna
knew
you
I
gonna let
would
this
die
man
if
take
I
your
didn't
life
fight
away
back.
with a kitchen
Back
knife?
then, I was already trained in some martial arts to defend myself, but that I thought I'd never need to use that skill to defend my life until now.
You better do it.
So, in a sudden burst of adrenaline, I managed to twist the wrist which he was holding the knife, kicking his stomach, and punching
There you
him
go.
mercilessly in
Yeah,
the
right.
face
Beat his ass.
several
That's what I'm
times.
talking about, man.
In the end, his face was bleeding so much, but his body was ignoring the pain of the blows in his body. and
Nah, you're
only
gonna
focusing
let
on
him stab
killing
you?
me. Finally, I used a training that I took before to twist both of his wrists and elbows harshly at the same time, forced in 2 different directions, and kicked the backside of his leg, putting him to the ground until ultimately he could drop the knife.
Right.
It wasn't easy because he was
Then you
struggling
grabbed the knife and you
punching my
killed him,
back,
like,
and somehow
stab.
tried to jump on me. But since I had his arm under my grasp, he couldn't do much without breaking
Stab.
himself. I slammed his head in the concrete ground,
Okay.
stunning him. Then kept striking his face desperately while kneeling over his
Yeah.
arm so he wouldn't be able to react or reach
Okay.
his knife again.
All right.
Then finally, he was out cold, bleeding.
So you
a
killed
lot.
him.
My knuckles were full of blood and hurt.
Bro, you
So
better hope
I
there's no
got up,
cops around. You just
took
committed
his knife,
murder.
Throwing it far away from there and ran away from him. I finally got to the snack bar, washed my hands in there, and did everything I had to do before going back home. But obviously, I didn't take the same path as I did before. But there were things that got much creepier. That was at the entrance of my apartment, where I heard screams coming from the other side of the street. It was the same crazy man. Now, seeming like he was possessed by a demon, and he was slamming his head on the iron door of my building's entrance.
Dog.
His face was horribly deformed and scarred from our fight.
You should have just
That
killed
freaked
him.
me out completely. My parents were on a trip, and the watchman of our building was on vacation.
So
I
you,
wasn't
so
gonna
you
fight
have to
that
kill
man
him.
again. So I decided to rush to my girlfriend's house.
Oh my God! Now you're gonna
When
get
I
your
got
girlfriend in
there, she was
danger.
home alone. She looked worried because I was looking pale, and there were still some marks of the man's blood on my clothes. I explained everything to her, and we called the police to come by my building. And when they arrived, the man was still in the entrance trying to force the doors unsuccessfully. When he saw the police, he attacked them, but got quickly dominated by the cops.
You know damn well they would have killed
explained that He
him.
was probably
It's
a crazy
2019. They
psycho
would've
in
shot
the
him
streets
before he even
looking
turned
for
around.
prey to rape.
Get on the
kill,
ground.
do
Hands
anything
in the
he
air.
wanted
Put
to
your
the
hands up.
person.
Pow, 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 pow.
So they sent him to a high-security mental asylum for criminals.
This would have never
far away from
happened.
my house.
All right, yeah, this is definitely
I
a
feel
horror
so
story
lucky
because that
I
would have
survived
never
that
happened.
day, and I'm hoping that I will never see that man again.
That definitely would have never happened, man. All right, look. I'm not doing this no more. Thank you for the recommendation for that particular individual who recommended that I also watch and react to the Wansee Entertainment. I don't think they're bad. They're definitely interesting. A lot of these stories can be pretty interesting, but just man, some of the what? It's the way they end or the way they start and then they go somewhere and you're like, yeah, stuff, and then it doesn't go anywhere. I don't know. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do any more of these. All right, that's number one. Number two, if you guys have things, since it's spooky month, if you guys have things that you would like to see me react to, horror things and whatnot, all that kind of fun stuff, or things that you might like, creepypastas. I love creepypastas. Don't make me shit bricks though, but I love creepypastas. If you guys have things that you want me to react to, by all means, leave comments down below. You're more than welcome to tweet at me. My Twitter is in the description box down below as well. If you need the Discord link, let me know. I'll post the Discord link and I'll pin it as a comment, and you guys can post inside of there. I have a specific section for these type of videos for suggestions. So throw it up in the air, man. Do whatever you got to do if you guys want to see me do stuff like that. If I'm being honest, these were pretty weak.